Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Atlanta Sports Special. On this week's episode, we'll be getting into a full recap of what went down on Sunday night in prime time against the Vikings, followed by a quick look ahead to the Carolina Panthers as we travel to Carolina. After that, we'll do a little bit of a high level of what's going on in the other Atlanta sports. It all starts right now.
ATL on the rise, you know how we do. Beach tree dreams, dirty birds flying through. From the gridiron to the diamond, courts to the pitch. We reppin' ATL sports, every team, every niche. ATL, where the flames ignite. From Truist Park to the bins at night. Dreams take flight, hearts soar high. United we stand, reaching for the sky.
Woo, baby! How about them dirty birds?
1-1 now. 1-1. Back in the win column, and it feels so right. It feels
Absolutely.
So right.
I mean, that game, bit of a snooze fest, but hey, we take those. We take those.
Bit of a snooze fest, but also at the same time, I found myself extremely anxious the entire time. Thank God for J.J. McCarthy just throwing 30 yards over his receivers, which we'll get into. But real quick, before we get into all that, let's go back in time, shall we, Kramer? Let's go back and see what happened on this day in the A back in 1955. This is a little shout out to the Yellow Jackets who just beat Clemson. I know, look, we're pro sports guys. That's what we're going to talk about mostly, but I got to give a shout out to the Jackets for pulling off a major upset. And
hey, they play in Atlanta too, man.
That's right down the road. And listen, back in 1955, this is such a nerd stat for you, but they beat Miami 14-6. What's so special about that game, Travis? I'm so glad you asked, Kramer. It's the first time a college football game was televised in color in Atlanta. So if you got parents or grandparents who lived in 1955, let them know that you know how old they are because they saw a game that was first televised in color. But yeah, man, shout out the Jackets. That was a lot of fun. That was talking college football. Let's get to what really matters.
Hey, Kenny, one comment off that. Whether you love Georgia Tech, whether you love Clemson, whether you hate either team, you gotta love some young fans, some students ripping down goalposts. I love ripping down some goalposts. That's just always fun to see. Doesn't matter who you're a fan of. You love seeing students walk out of that stadium with a goalpost.
Yeah, and I'd love for someone to comment on here if they know, like, where does that go? Is that just like a big frat party somewhere down the street, or like at what point does that become a burden? Because I feel like in college the cool thing was to like take traffic cones and collect them. I don't know where you put a goalpost unless you got a turf field in your fraternity backyard. It's not going in a dorm room. It sure isn't going there. But let's get into what matters most, which is what happened Sunday night.
Yes, sir.
Falcons
yes,
back
sir.
in the win
yes,
column.
Sir.
Initial reactions. We'll break it down. But Kramer, tell me, how are you feeling just in general about this?
I'm not going to lie, man. When it came to the game, I was nervous. Why am I nervous? The Falcons historically have been known not to perform very well in prime time.
That's right.
That's a fact. Look it up.
I remember the last primetime game that I can vividly remember us winning was when we had Philly come to town. Jones caught that screen with like a minute 38 left. And the only time I remember that is because I was exhausted at work the next day. That was the only reason I remember it being that late. It was an exciting time in Atlanta. I think it took me an hour and a half to get on the MARTA after that.
Well, needless to say, it was a little bit of a snooze of a game. If you like points being scored, you were not exactly satisfied. But hey, if you are a soccer fan or you are just loving defense, you loved this game.
Yeah, we love this game. We love defense on this podcast. And I think we love it a lot more because we've given Terry Fontenot absolute hell talking about the drafts of the past and things of that nature and not all the pieces coming together. Well, we just saw a lot of pieces come together with a lot of young guys. And this game, it really was marked by the defense. Just quick, let's go ahead and call out the obvious here. 6 sacks, 11 quarterback hits, 60% pressure rate.
McCarthy's seeing ghost in that backfield.
J.J. McCarthy is faking an ankle injury right now. He'll be out for 3 weeks, which is...
Kirk Cousins must have gave him some advice after the game, huh?
Yeah, exactly right. He's like, hey, man, if you got that injury, just milk it. They'll give you $48 million and you'll be just fine. One thing I think is really important to call out, it's the most obvious thing that happened, is we got a kicker.
As much as it breaks my heart to say, everybody who's listening or a Falcons fan in general will talk my ear off. comment, say this, like, why do you stick with Koo so much? He sucks. He's been blowing us games for years. Listen, Georgia Southern alumni,
Yes.
hey, chill out. Georgia Southern alumni, I stay strong to my people, love the guy, but unfortunately, we are recording this podcast on Monday, and I cannot ensure the safety of a roster spot for Younghoe Koo when this releases on Wednesday.
Yeah, title of the pod, Younghoe who? We don't need him. And we got a Romo that doesn't choke in the clutch time periods, and I'm pretty excited about that. I mean, the guy was making bombs from everywhere, right? I mean, he hit threes, and then that 50-yarder, 50-plus was electric. I mean, I know about you, and I know about how we feel. The truth is, in Atlanta, when it comes to anything over 40 yards, I mean, I'm already kind of like going to go do something else. I'm like, yeah, okay, we're gonna miss this by a mile.
Let's also comment the fact that the team did not have Younghoe Koo travel with them to this game. So he sat there clenching his fist, pacing probably at his house, going, I just need this guy to mess up. Give me that. I just need another chance. I need this guy to not show out today. And unfortunately, it was the Romo show.
Yeah, it was.
He built an entire new resume off of last night's performance.
Yeah, and I think some of the residual of what happens with that, right? Like, so not to get into some defensive stuff too early, but AJ Terrell goes down with that injury right before the end of the first half. Okay, so now we have a chance to cut Younghoe Koo. The Bengals don't have Joe Burrow. J.J. McCarthy's hurt. Looks like two prime prospects to push off this Kirk Cousins money suck. And then if we can do that, well, now we have the slot and the money to start going and trying to get either a really, really good corner to come and play, or if we want to go to it, we can get more offensive line depth, which is needed. I actually thought the offensive line played a decent game. It wasn't great. Obviously, Penix got sacked and hit a few times, but the run blocking looked nice.
And hey, the Falcons are open to any and all calls. San Francisco,
yeah.
Mac Jones, not the answer. Kirk Cousins, could be. Who knows? Dak.
Yeah, I mean, Jerry Jones let Micah Parsons walk, so like he's doing crazy stuff. Maybe he'll want Kirko for whatever reason.
I mean, that sounds like a Jerry Jones move. Go ahead, sign Kirk Cousins, have Kirk Cousins and Dak Prescott just eating all their money there. Sounds like the Cowboys thing to do.
It could open up some pretty awesome things in our playbook. I can already hear Jerry Jones doing the press conference for it. Honestly, I don't care where Kirk lands. He could land on the moon. I just want the cap space, and I want to go get a impact player early in the season to start trying to fill some of these holes that we see. But let's get back to the game. The defense, man, the pass rush was unbelievable. A huge glaring stat to me that I saw, which is pretty wild. Vikings only had 48 plays from the line of scrimmage. And on that, we obviously had all those pressures and sacks and QB hits. There weren't many clean pockets for JJ. And I love that, man. It's like we've been dying for this. I feel like for years we've been begging for this. And this is what you see. I mean, the Zach Robinson is, I don't know if he's narcoleptic and he keeps sleeping through half the game or like what's going on with him, and worst play caller I've ever seen in a year or two. But if he's going to fall asleep and play the lamest game I've ever seen from a play calling perspective, great. At least our defense is going to keep them to 6 points.
It was sad to see that first half fumble by Drake London because he did look so explosive off the ball, and when he caught that, he turned around and looked like he was ready to truck a motherfucker. But that being said, he is actually the one that got murked in that situation and lost the ball. And you could tell he was upset about it. They had the camera keep panning to him, and he looked like a sad dog.
Yeah, he really did. And it was such a good throw. Michael Penix rolling out to his opposite side over to the right, having to turn and adjust to throw an absolute laser. And I know, like, you go look at Michael Penix's stats. I should know. I had him starting in my fantasy football league for the solid 6 points or whatever he got me. His throws actually didn't look that bad. He did have some, like, underthrown and overthrown balls, like the one to Ray, which was in the corner of the end zone. He threw more out of bounds. That's still a safer throw than trying to fit it in and getting a pick in the end zone. Like, that led to 3 points for the Falcons, so I'm cool with points. I'm not cool with how we executed in the red zone, but
13 for 21, 135 yards by Michael Penix. If you wanted points, this wasn't the game. This was your grandfather's football. This was just basically us running the triple option every time. You got Bijan in the back doing all the work. I mean, I saw a video that the Falcons put up of him getting the game ball, and I was like, yeah, because who really did anything else on that team other than the garbage time touchdown basically by Tyler Algier.
Yeah, I was about to say, I mean, it was just a run fest, right? I mean, you look at those stats, it's like, okay, yeah, we didn't perform that great because and again, I don't point at the players at all. I thought Zach Robinson is kind of making a fool of himself these past couple of games. I mean, we've gotten to rely on some good playing in the first game from Penix, making things happen. But we were in the red zone 3 times early in the game, and we kicked field goals. That's great against a Vikings team that we're smashing. It won't work throughout the rest of the season.
The first half score should have been 17-6.
Oh, it should have been more than that. I mean, in my opinion, it should have been 24-6. And honestly, 24-3. I'm really frustrated. And you mentioned actually the camera focusing on Drake London after he made that fumble. Another classic camera moment. There are a lot of times the camera kept going over to Raheem Morris, who did not throw a challenge flag on that Adam Thielen catch, which to me totally deserved it. Third down, that ball was moving, and then he popped out. That was not a catch based on all the stuff I've already seen in the NFL this season. But, man, Raheem Morris has his microphone up with his mouth open, not doing anything most of the time when the camera goes over there, and I'm starting to wonder, like, what's going on the sideline?
What really irked me was the amount of times the camera panned to him after us not converting those early fourth down drives when we were in about the red zone and everything like that. They would pan the camera and he'd smile and basically just shrug his shoulders. I'm like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? That's supposed to be points. I get it. You want to test out this new kicker, but Shout out Parker Roma, by the way, 5 for 5 field goals, longest being 54. Huge. We already spoke about that, but still, just wanted to shout that out.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's worth a shout out. He won the game for us. So
true offensive MVP right there. But yeah, like you were saying, it's just Raheem Morris and Zach Robinson with these offensive schemes and play calls. There's no reason we shouldn't have been, blowing this team out by 30 points.
Right, and I don't need someone to be over the top when it comes to correcting players or yelling at coaches on the sideline. I get it. Like, you're all professionals. This is a pro sport. But I'd like to see something, right? Your team goes out there on 4th and 1. You don't get a play call in. You can blame it on the noise. There's no way that was the problem. I think Zach Robinson, again, was waking up from a snooze, didn't know what to do. Raheem seemingly doesn't hold him accountable to those type of things, at least that we can see. I'm sure there's a lot that goes on when they go to those coaches' meetings. Obviously, we're not there.
Yeah.
But I'd really like to see some accountability. I'm not saying you have to break your headset, but look frustrated. Like, pretend to care like I do on my couch, yelling silently while my son sleeps, try not to wake him up. I'd like to see something there.
You're 0-1. You're 0-1 against a team that has a great defense, and when you're out there in those scoring opportunities and you're coming up short every single time, I'm going to need a more serious look from my head coach. That is just so unbelievable. This isn't high school football, man. You have millions of people dedicating their Sunday, their time invested in this team that has been bad consistently for so long, and all I want to do is see points on the board and us dominate a team. Is that so much to ask for?
And if you looked at the box score, like, this looked like a dominating game, and it kind of was just because of how the defense played. But again, that's not going to hold up. Like, J.J. McCarthy, so young, so inexperienced in the NFL. Vikings fans already calling
technically a rookie.
Right. I mean, it's unfair to say, oh, this guy's trash right now. Like, he hasn't had much time. They have an injured offensive line. I get it. The defense was mobbing him too, which is just so sick.
It did not help that the starting center also went out with a concussion early in the second half, which that is really when everything started to fall apart for J.J. McCarthy. 2 interceptions, sacked multiple times. It just was bad looks. They had a total of 78 rushing yards by Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones. But let's talk about the real thing. Right? Like, let's get into this defense.
Yeah. Don't get me complaining about Zach Robinson's play calling, because I can do that for its own hour.
Biggest takeaway I want to take there's so much good things to talk about, and we're going to get into all of this about the defense, but the most notable thing I want to talk about this defense first is that even though we lost A.J. Terrell in third, it was really nice to see us being able to still stop Justin Jefferson at the end of the day. I mean, he only brought in 3 catches 81 yards. That it was a 50-yard catch he had right after AJ went out. But the fact that we were able to stop debatably the best wide receiver from scoring or just getting over 100 yards is massive, especially with that hurt secondary.
Yeah, next man up mentality. I thought D. Alford came in the game and played a great game as well, really having to get leaned on a ton. And I think that injury occurred right at the end of the second half, because that catch from Justin is what set them up for that field goal to make it 6 points for them right before the end of the half, which I thought was going to be kind of a gut punch. Honestly, I'm like, here we go. They're going to try to bring it in here. And then, honestly, the boys came out firing in the second half. And you want to talk about defensive line.
Shout out all the rookies. All the rookies feasted. All the rookies feasted. There is not a single rookie defensively we drafted that did not ball out.
Yeah, and I would say, too, there wasn't really a player on defense I saw that didn't ball out. A couple, like you mentioned, like a couple plays where Justin Jefferson got open on those and Adam Thielen got open across either the middle of the field or on those comeback routes, which that's going to happen. You contained them into comeback routes instead of getting to run deep for big gains. But, man, I'm telling you, from linebacker play, Diablo might be him. Like we if he keeps playing like this, he may be a Pro Bowler this year. I'm telling you, I can't stop watching him. With the pace at which he moves and the way he comes downhill is something I have missed watching a Falcons linebacker do.
He looked like 2016 Deion Jones out there. He looked possessed. He looked like somebody that if you line up on the other side of the ball from him, you're looking and there's just fear striking through those eyes of his. He is just wanting to go out there and hurt people. And again, I'm a defensive guy. I love to see that. I love to see that on my team.
Yeah, the pop of the pads. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of ferocity, a lot of getting home in this game. A lot of TFLs too. I mean, it felt like we were in the backfield on every play. The early part of the game and in the beginning of the second half, there were a couple runs where you kind of were like, uh-oh, here we go. Like, the Vikings are going to get some momentum. They're just going to complete a pass or two to Thielen, and they might get in their groove. But then right when that would happen, man, here comes a Billy Bowman pick. Here comes Pierce around the edge. There was always a dirty bird stepping up to the plate and making a play in big moments. And I don't know, man. I'm not used to this. So I think I got like 185 on my heartbeat when the defense is on the field making those plays. I mean, I was jumping up and down. I'm a big dude. Me jumping up and down is a scary sight. I was shaking the neighborhood over here. Let me tell you something.
Shout out Billy Bowman. Shout out Xavier Watt. Shout out Walker. Shout out Pierce Jr. I mean, I was, like you said, I'm also a larger guy and jumping around. I was watching it at a friend's house. They were all looking at me like I was crazy, and I was like, you guys don't get it. You guys don't understand the momentum we are building right now on this defense.
Yeah, I'm sitting around Arthur fisting the whole game. Like, I'm just clenched up, angry, ready to go. But, I mean, again, it's just like it all seems to click this game. And everything we saw in game one, too, with high pressure rate, I mean, top 5 in the league for the first game. Well, it went even higher in this game. And you can say everything you want about offensive line health. Yes, they were missing some players. Everyone's missing some players right now. Everyone's going to have injuries. When we go to Carolina in a week, which we'll get into this upcoming week, they got injuries, and I'm telling you, these boys are about to feast.
After the game I just saw from Carolina, I couldn't agree more. But the run game obviously was our strong point on offense here. Bijan with 22 carries, 143 yards, and averaging almost 7 yards per carry. I mean, he just could not be stopped. If you were watching that man out of there was so many plays where you're like, okay, well, he's about to lose like 4 yards, and then he goes, no, I'm not, and somehow always was a positive gain every time.
I mean, he looked like he was playing his own little game of hopscotch in between the tackles. There were a couple of times there he did 3 jump cuts on what should have been a 1, maybe 2 yard play.
Yeah.
But he got it for 8 yards. It's like, man, I'm so happy that guy's on my team. Yeah. I couldn't imagine having to tackle someone like that.
He's slippery, man. He just gets out there, and then you don't know what to do because you're expecting a cut or something. They have Tyler come in. He's just that bowling ball, and he's just shoving the ball right down your damn throat.
You have to break down on defense as a linebacker for Bijan so much because you know he can cut. All of a sudden, Algier comes in. He sticks his face mask in your sternum, and you're sent right back to the 3rd grade.
Yeah, it's great. We might, with the loss of Ben Johnson over at the Detroit Lions, I think we potentially have the best 1-2 punch in the run game in the entire NFL.
So we need to have a name for these two. And I know it's kind of going around as like we're trying to get a good, solid name. I'd love to hear people's opinions of that. If you follow us on Instagram or even on the pod, like drop it in if you know a good two-headed beast name that we could use for these guys.
Yeah. Something that's not Sonic and Knuckles, because, I mean, what even is that? That's just...
They're really trying to make a comeback with the Sonic stuff. I haven't played that game since, like, the Wii Olympics game. But listen, final takeaways. I mean, obviously this came down to a defensive fight. I mean, this is one of those times you go pull up the highlights the day after, and the highlights are like 6 minutes because it's just sack, TFL, punt. I mean, it's incredible. If you're a Falcon, you got to love it because this game looked, if you look at the box score, if you look at the stats, it looks like an absolute BTA, belt to ass situation. And it kind of was, but it was still ugly. And the Zach Robinson play calling really does concern me. I don't know why I feel like we're putting kind of a limit on Penix and him throwing downfield because the Falcons didn't even throw a ball or complete a ball past 20 yards of the line of scrimmage. That's what Peyton Manning did when he was like 48. That was the kind of play calling we did for Peyton Manning on the Broncos when he was as old as he was.
Or Drew Brees in his later years at the Saints where he's just doing check downs.
Yeah, when he had half a shoulder.
Like that because he couldn't throw a ball longer than 25 yards.
I mean, it's like an old show point. Those guys are getting pulled off the field, going in that tent to get cortisol shots put in their shoulders. Michael Penix is an absolute missile. So maybe there's something we're missing that they're not letting us know. Like maybe he's still adjusting to this offense because, I mean, he's only played in, this is his 5th game now?
I just think, in my opinion, it was a lot of cautionary ball we were playing. We were just, the run game was working. The script with the run game was on point. So we didn't backtrack from that, which, you know, they really are a little bit late with that because in 2017 during that Super Bowl, that would have been really nice to see. Probably would have won that game.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, the Vikings sat back with 2 safeties sitting high most of the game. So I get, like, you're not going to be able to take the top off with 2 safeties sitting back there. But, like, man, run some sort of drag across the middle. Like, find those gaps in the middle of a defense when you have those 2 high safeties that can get you those little chunk plays. I think you kind of saw it. We finally threw a slant route to Drake London, and he busted it for almost 20 yards. It's like, hey, imagine what happens when you throw it across the middle.
That catch looked like a glitch in Madden. I had to watch the replay on that like 3 times. I was like, how did that happen? They just decided not to tackle him. He caught the ball and just slipped out of these 2 defenders. Like nobody even got a finger on him.
Yeah, when you go back and watch it too, it literally looks like, it's like he thought he was playing flag football or like 2-hand touch with the boys.
Yeah, for sure. And the return of Darnell Mooney was huge, and I was really excited to see him. I think he only got a couple targets, maybe 1 catch, and he didn't really get to see him. But, hey, you know, we won the game. Everything ended up working out. Brian Flores is a great defensive coordinator, and the Minnesota Vikings are projected to have one of the higher defenses in the league. So the fact that we were able to go out there and, like you said, put belt to ass and beat them the way we did is massive morale for this offense. And we didn't get to see Michael Penix really even run around, let alone use his arm. But with that being said, it's great to know that like our run game is well established and our offensive line is putting in the work. The offensive line is good. It's great to know that with those injuries from like Kevin McGary before the season started, that our offensive line is going to be okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And good point to that, too. There were a couple really, really good stunts that the Vikings pulled off where they obviously got in the backfield and created pressure and sacks, which it's going to happen. You're playing the best of the best. You can't be perfect. But I thought protection overall was really, really good. And that run blocking was nice. On a defensive line that's very talented, there was a lot of push, which got me excited.
Yeah, except for that. The only comment I have to say about the offensive line is that one play where our guard just did not pick up the block on one of their pass rushers, and Michael Penix put his head and neck down and got absolutely. I thought he was going to get two-ed. It scared me. It scared me so bad.
I went back and watched that play a couple times. It's actually one of the best stunts I've seen run in a while, and it was Jake Matthews who let him go inside without getting touched. And then obviously the guard had to take on that defensive tackle because he tried to pressure him. They didn't switch off on that and he didn't even get a hand on this guy, which I get it. These are These are professional defensive linemen. It's a great move. It is unfortunate, though, that, yeah, we almost had Michael Penix crapping out his neck for the next 2 weeks because he got the weirdest hit I've ever seen. I can't believe he just, like, popped right back up.
He did not look like he was going to come up from that, and the way that, I mean, he didn't see it coming. He thought he had at least a second to prepare himself, but he put his neck down, and when you see your quarterback do that, it is so frightening just because you've seen how the injuries work in the NFL as of the past couple years.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And segue into somewhat of like a preview for the Panthers game, and also a little bit of hate for Zach Robinson sprinkled in there, is we have not had to do much because of how talented this running is, like these young running backs we have and how great that's been. Zach Robinson can change my mindset for the season this upcoming week, and I'm going to be super open-minded. If eventually these teams are going to have to come up, start loading boxes more because of Bijan and Algier, and we're gonna have to sling it. And it's going to come down to, like, does Zach have the stones to let Penix loose? I swear it's like this weird protective thing on him. I don't know what it is, but we're going to have to rely on Penix's arm a little bit like we did in week 1 to try to make it interesting. And I hope that chemistry between Zach calling those plays and Penix feeling comfortable is what I expect it to be with the talent level we know we have at quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, just seeing some of the gameplay from this previous week with the Panthers versus Arizona, one of the first plays of the game was Arizona's defense got into the backfield super fast, super quick. We will for sure have the ability to do that, and they strip sacked Bryce Young for a strip 6, and that got me jacked up just knowing that's about to be our team next week. Again, I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch because I thought things were going to be easy, but this week, which they turned out being easy near the end there. But, I mean, that first half was a snooze fest, and it was very scary to see the potential that we almost seemed like we wanted to give up on offense of just not being aggressive with that passing.
Yeah, and that'll be something to watch for this week, right? The truth is the Panthers are dead. I mean, they're an absolutely dead organization. Bryce Young looks like the fire has gone out behind his eyes. I mean, I don't blame him. The guy's getting hit every 2 seconds. He's about to get his noggin rocked this upcoming week by this defensive line and this pressure. So I can't tell you how bad this Panthers team is on tape, too. I mean, they go out and they get Xavier Leggett, and this guy has like 1 reception for, I think, -3 yards on 8 targets. How does that even happen? I have no idea how your, quote, star future wide receiver is getting minus yards on 8 targets, but guess what? The Panthers can do it, man. The Panthers can do it, and I think this team's about to have a field day this week. I expect to see a lot of the same pressure. I loved what Ulbrich was dialing up, and I expect to see a lot more of that, those blitz packages, the backers, and also bringing off the edge and things of that nature.
Yeah, I mean, if the rookies can build off the momentum for this week 2 game and bring that to Carolina week 3, I think we're going to also have Bryce Young seeing ghost with the amount of pressure that he is about to see, because if his wide receivers can't get open, then, I mean, they have Mill in there, they have Xavier Leggett, and they have Hunter Renfrow. So not exactly a great starting 3. And if our defense can shut them down...
Whoa, put some respect on Hunter Renfrow's name.
You're right.
You kidding me? That guy could. Hey, look, no one runs a little squirrel route better than he does. I mean, he's not going to take the top off.
He's been working at his dad's factory the past 2 years. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I'm trying to keep it a little bit humble. No, I think. I mean, we haven't scored over 24 points yet this season.
I was looking for that number, man, all game. I was like, where is it? Are we about to get there? We got 22, but we held them under 24, and that's like what you said was the important part to do.
And we're going to do it again this week, but it's going to be scoring. Like, this is a very, very bad team we're about to go play. So what I'm interested to see is, can we get up enough early to where, like, that third quarter, we can try to push some things down the field, like really get some reps against a bad team with some play calls where Penix can get more comfortable, because it's going to come down. Like, we got the Bills coming down the road. We have some really big games coming up where he is going to have to spin it, and he's going to have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And right now, I mean, this past game, we leaned on the run. This upcoming game, I think it's going to be somewhat patty cake. I hope they're not taking it this way. I hope all the players are thinking 2-1, 2-1. It's all we care about, right? We're going 1-0 this week. That's what it should be. That's what the attitude inside that locker room should be. Us as the fan, I think it's safe to say, like, if we're in a tight race with the Panthers going into the fourth quarter, I'm going to be I'm going to be having to take blood pressure medication.
I mean, you got to remember they are the team that killed our playoff hope last year.
Please. That's a game I do not want to reflect
That
on.
feels like a whole lifetime ago. That feels like an entirely different team than the team we have now, which for the most part is true.
Defensively, it almost is entirely defense.
Correct. But yeah, Bryce Young, like you said, light is gone behind his eyes. That offensive line they have is atrocious. We just have to start early. We got to get those points early, and then we can just chip away the clock in the end. Like, let's get those points first.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself saying, like, we want to see 24 points in the first half, but, man, it'd be nice. I want touchdowns. I think the biggest thing that we saw this past week that's a huge red flag, no pun intended on the red zone offense was really, really bad and very stagnant and very stupid penalties. Delay of game penalties.
Oh my goodness, man.
And there's been at least 2 in each game so far in situations where we're short down or short yardage on third or fourth, where it's like, let's get the play in, especially when we're at home against the Bucks. Like, what are we doing? I'm looking to see things cleaned up from the offense perspective, from dumb penalties. I get a holding call is going to happen every now and then. Also, real quick, I know we're looking back now, that offsides penalty that then got a holding and they offset, there's got to be a rule change in the NFL. If a defensive end jumps off sides,
there's a holding?
What is the right
that doesn't
tackle
make
supposed
sense.
to do? Just let him go clean Michael Penix's clock and injure our franchise quarterback? Can't happen. So that frustrated me.
If they're going to jump off sides, that holding doesn't happen if he doesn't jump off sides. So why are we getting penalized for just being safe and making sure that our guys protected? It's ridiculous.
And I get you want to take the shot, want to go deep on that play to try to get a jump ball or something, but at the same time, like, hey, we'll take the 5 yards if you blow it dead.
It's really good to see that these young guys, too, on defense, we're not doing a lot of the penalty work, no PIs or things like that. That's massive.
Really good call out. Really good sound game.
Something that they were very clean sheet. So that was great to see.
Yeah, but offensively, again, it's like, all right, clean it up. Zach Robinson, go clean it up. But overall, excited about this upcoming week. I got 3 questions for you, Kramer. I want to hear your answer to them.
Let's see it.
Number 1, who scored his first touchdown against Panthers?
Ooh, first touchdown against Panthers. You know who I'm going to say? Because it needs to happen, because the amount this man is open is ridiculous. All game yesterday, it seemed like he was just kept getting open.
Say his name. I want to hear it.
Kyle Pitts Sr.
Oh, I got chills when you said that, man. I totally agree with that. He's so open, and he's flashing this speed and versatility that we all were.
He's good at route running. He's running his routes phenomenally.
Right. And you know what I also saw is he was blocking not only at the line of scrimmage well, but downfield well. I mean, he's becoming a very well-rounded tight end. We don't talk about that enough, and we should. Because blocking is like, oh, if Kyle Pitts is on the field, he's going for a route. Man, he did some good stuff blocking, which I was impressed with and really happy to see. That's a team player. It's contract year. He knows what he's about.
Yeah, he's out there putting in the work, and it shows on the tape. You watch him in those routes, and you're thinking to yourself, is Penix just not seeing him? I'm just confused on what the point of view from Penix is.
I couldn't agree more. I'm hoping to see that, and Penix was under some pressure, but you're going to be under pressure in this league. It's just how it goes. I'm excited to see him try to get more comfortable. That's why I want to see us airing it out after we get some points on the board.
Yeah, for sure.
Second question, first sack, who's getting it?
Give me Pierce Jr., man. I mean, he was all up at him or Walker. I mean, either one. Those guys were just eating last night. They were going in there and they were playing for their paycheck. And I love to see that. These guys were playing like rent was due. It was amazing.
Yeah, it really was. I was really excited about the pressure, and I think it's only going to continue to grow. The first game, there were a lot of pressures without QB hits. We talked about that. We talked about the lack of production in the stat category. Or the sack category, whereas now, oh man, we're getting home. If we can keep that up, I mean, and it doesn't have to be 6 sacks every week, but if it's above 4, man, we are putting ourselves in a big opportunity to win games, and that's what we need from this defense with this play calling issue, we'll call it for right now. So I love that, man. You're riding with Pierce?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to give you one. Divine Diablo is going to get the first sack on a blitz
for
this upcoming week. It's going to be a backer. Or Ellis. I'll stick with Diablo. Ellis is actually the only player that didn't flash much on the stat sheet this past week who did a great job still, and I want to call that out. The linebacker play has been fantastic, and I don't want to.
He did his job. It's hard for him to look flashy when all these rookies are out here doing. I mean, the Falcons' social media team was going crazy, just having to put all these posts together. A first career this, first career that. I mean, it was amazing. I mean,
shout out to the guys who are creating those templates, man. They were probably up long hours trying to get those ready for the next day and during the game too. Shout out AI for probably making that job easier. But last question to look to the Panthers here is, what do you predict the final score is going to be in Carolina at the end of the day?
I'm expecting a big game from our defense, and I'm expecting a get-right game of showing what our offensive talent can be. This is going to sound crazy, man, but I'm going let's go 34-7.
Wow. So what, just a touchdown given up? I don't think that's too crazy, just based on what I've seen from the Panthers.
Garbage time touchdown. Yeah. Garbage time.
Of what Kelvin Benjamin was, that one Popeye's biscuit away from a tight end. I mean, I don't see him being ready to leave. I'm going to say the Falcons definitely get over the 24 line. I'm going to say it's going to be 31-13.
I feel like they really have to put the league on notice that, hey, we're not just a safe team. We're also somebody that you should be scared of us going through and coming to your field and, you know, laying it down. We're here to score points. Yeah. We have the offensive weapons.
Walk in your trap, take over your trap. That's the kind of attitude we got to have for the rest
of
the
season.
Season. I'm excited to hear it, and I'm excited for everybody to watch it. We got a fun one coming up. It's inside the NFC, man. I feel like they're all rivalries. I can't stand the Panthers, and I went to Auburn. I'm a huge Cam Newton fan, but when he went to Carolina, like, I kind of had to start hating him. And ever since then, I've kind of had to start hating him.
I mean, over the past couple years with Cam Newton fizzling out, them trading away Christian McCaffrey, them trading away DJ Moore, it's not exactly a franchise who's wanting to win or wanting to do anything in the future right now. They're trying to build a good offense, but their offensive line is riddled with injuries. Yep. They're just not performing the way they keep thinking they're going to perform. It's sad. And the only thing they kind of have positive right now is those wide receivers. I'm not even sure if I was a fan of theirs to feel about the quarterback, but their defense actually does have a shimmer of light.
Yeah, their defensive tackles and their front four are good. I mean, they got Derek Brown, who is arguably a top 3 defensive tackle in the league. Now, he was hurt most of last season, got an absolute bag from Carolina to be there. I think he was the highest paid defensive tackle now as of this past year. He's healthy. He's a difference maker. So, again, that also lends its hand to what are we going to do in the pass game if Bijan and Algier are getting stuffed in the middle. Are we going to run this ridiculous halfback, give it off every single play, first, second down, and then a hitch route? I hope not. I hope Zach Robinson wakes up. I hope he drinks his coffee in the morning and does a little bit of game planning. It's a bad
Let me tell you what. The Panthers are looking for a bright future, and they're looking for some sort of light to shine, but they are not going to find it against the Dirty Birds this coming Sunday.
Hell no.
No, sir.
No, man. You ever seen that movie Birds from back in the day?
No, I haven't.
Like the really old horror movie, man. It's about to look like that up in the sky. The birds are coming. Yeah. We're going to black out the sky. Dirty Birds.
Yes, sir. Hey, and you know what? Speaking of shining lights and a bright future, give me a little bit of an update of what these Braves are doing right now.
Yeah, man. Super bright future coming up here. Braves have only won one series, I think, in their past 9. It was to the Marlins. So really, things are looking good. Cunha is getting his confidence robbed by a coach and GM. It's really frustrating. I've watched Acuna get dropped down to the 7-hole, moved in a different batting rotation twice now as he's trying to get healthy, killing his confidence by Brian Snitker, who will not be here next year. I mean, he's going to retire. It's going to be cute. We're going to thank him. He's done a lot for the organization.
Yeah.
So, he got us a World Series. He put together a great team.
He had a hell of a run.
At least. Yeah, he did a great job. And he knows it's his time. A little bit of insight in the Braves that could be exciting. I don't think it's going to happen, but a lot of people are starting to have chatter that the next up for the Brian Snitker vacancy could be Chipper Jones.
Ow, really?
Someone who knows Braves baseball, someone who loves it. I would be shocked if that happens.
I have not heard this.
This is coming out of different news outlets right now, actually. It's speculation. I don't think that's going to happen.
Should we go ahead and no. We should be the first ones to report it. Breaking news, you've heard it here on Atlanta Sports Special First. Chipper Jones announced the new coach for the Braves.
Yeah, there it is. That'd be great.
You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
A lot of work to do in the off season, and if Anthopoulos doesn't start spending money, you could see him being the next one to vacate the front office. That's pessimism. I'm sorry. Give me to a team. Tell me about somebody who's doing good.
I'll tell you about somebody who's doing good in a minute, but right now, misery loves company. Let's talk about Atlanta United. Atlanta United recently just hosted Columbus Crew to come over here. We lost 5-4, just awful defensive play. They actually ended up scoring all 4 of their points in the second half, which is just kind of shows you where they are at in the season. I mean, they're not going down without a fight, which you love to see. Pedro Amor scoring his first goal for Atlanta United in the second half, which is, bright future to say there.
Wow.
But I'm not really going to have too much to say about Atlanta United as their season is going to come to a close. They're just riddled with injuries. Their wins are coming few and thin between. It's not looking great there. They're basically having the same season the Braves are. Not sure what else there is positive to say about them right now, but, they are having the issue with a lot of teams going to play for their national teams for FIFA qualifiers. So I'm honestly just going to chalk this year up and say, hey, you know what? It's a down year. It's a building year.
It's a building year.
Sir.
It's a building year. It's not a down year. We don't have down years around here. It's a building year. Another team that's building, which is actually, to me, it's exciting. You and your takes on Trae Young, you might actually hate to hear this, but the Hawks have traded Kobe Buffkin, who, if you remember back in 2023, he was our first-round pick, 15th pick overall, have traded him to the Brooklyn Nets. That is
we're clearing some spots
the past 2 days, maybe even day. And we're clearing that. We're clearing out a little bit of cash. Getting some cash incentives as well. It seems, and I'm happy about this, that the Hawks are going to ride with Trae Young and build around him. And it looks
how long they've been saying that now,
dude. This is not built in a day, and especially where the Hawks were historically over the past 7 seasons, it's been a build. I get it. It's a trust the process moment. Hopefully not like the 76ers. If this team can stay healthy and we can go out and get some real role players. And I'm talking about some wings, some forwards that can actually play both sides again. And again, the key word's healthy. Look out for the Hawks this year. I really think what we can do inside and out with Porzingis as well as Trae Young can be really, really exciting in this league. Let's see. Show me. That's kind of the motto right now for the Hawks is show me.
With that being said, are the rumors fully dead, or are they still some hope and glimmer for the streets are talking Giannis?
No, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think getting $4.5 million for Kobe Buffkin is going to fit the max contract we would have to pay him. And I think, shout out my buddy Connor who mentioned this too, which is true. It's like I think Atlanta's in a situation right now where both them and Trae know, like, hey, we're not going to pay you a max contract. And Trae knows, I know I'm not getting a max. It's going to be close. But he knows that in order to win and be here, which I think he really wants to be, we're going to have to get some players and there's going to have to be some money talk. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all shakes out. But as of right now, it looks like the Hawks are trying to make moves to improve this roster and add depth for the upcoming season to be successful.
All right. Good things to come there. Speaking of good things, let's talk about good things that are happening now with your Atlanta Dream opening the first round of the WNBA playoff series against the Indiana Fever, a team that Caitlin Clark builds, winning 80-68 at home. Let's go, man. Alicia Gray and Ryan Howard both scoring 20 points, and Naz Hamilton coming in the third spot there with 16 points and 9 rebounds. I will say it's kind of fake to celebrate this win. Hey, a dub's a dub. Don't get me wrong,
For sure. Around here, we celebrate dubs.
However, Indiana is struggling, missing Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, Ari McDonald, and Sydney Colson, which some obviously with Caitlin Clark being huge, but Sophie Cunningham actually being a huge, great assist to that team as well as Amari McDonald. Them having all those missing key players, if they can't get healthy soon and have those people back within, I'm not sure what the injury designation timeline looks like there, but it seems like we could do a clean sweep if there to miss any more time.
Yeah, I haven't personally dove much into this since we talked about it last. Again, I think I need to, based on it's a team that's winning. I'm not going to rule it out.
Yeah.
to get engaged here. And I think it might, I mean, look, I don't know what you're doing these upcoming weeks, but they keep winning. They come back at home. Maybe my intro is you taking me to a game. You've been on the court. You've been seeing these games. Maybe it's Kramer and Kenny date night.
Hey, sounds like a good time to me. And shout out Alicia Gray for making the AP first team for the WNBA.
Nice.
And Naz
That's awesome.
Hillman Naz Hillman was named the AP Sixth Player of the Year for
Awesome.
the WNBA. So great things to come there. You know, these girls have the tenacity and they have the power to take it all the way. So that's going to be very interesting to be keeping up with in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, good call out. And I think as we go over these next few weeks, and as we're kind of catching our groove here on this podcast, one of the things we also are going to start talking about as news circulates more is what could be coming to Atlanta with this NHL expansion. This is something that's got me personally really excited. If you're excited about hockey in Atlanta with what we had to cheer for when the Thrashers were here, and you're also like me and you're having to bandwagon a team, go Canes as of right now.
Go Predators.
What could be awesome is seeing a hockey team in Forsyth County coming back to the metro Atlanta area. I'm juiced about it. We'll talk about that next week a little bit. Also, there's going to be a lot of new stuff coming out. I know Kramer and I got some ideas circulating about some live interviews we might be putting up on a YouTube channel, things of that nature. So follow us. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, all of that. Kramer, any exiting words for you?
Hey, man, again, thank you guys so much for joining us here at the Atlanta Sports Special. Really appreciate all the support and the comments we've been getting, all the improvements and advice that we can make. It really means a lot to see that we have people close to us, and even some strangers have reached out, telling us that they really enjoy what we've been putting out so far. So thank you guys so much for the love. And, again, if you flew here or you grew here, we appreciate it. Go Falcons, baby. Rise up. Let's beat them Panthers.
Rise up, baby. See y'all.
Reaching for the sky. 5 stripes marching. Unity.